So let's talk about in this latest President Trump once again making this U-turn and calling off the strikes. And it seems that the immediate reflection has been seen on the markets there. There is a visible jump in the markets that seems to be cheering the statement, and the stock markets for a long time that we are now looking at is now opening in the green. So visible bloodbath that was reported this week as President Trump had threatened to amp up the strikes. Now that the strikes has been called off, and there is a possibility of a deal almost being signed very soon. The Sensex this Friday morning as the markets open up is almost up by 1,000 points. Nifty also zooming past 23,400 and Nifty gains over 1%. Indian currency here as well has also seen a breather, gaining at least 60 paise against a dollar, standing at 95.25. And that seems to be the very sentiment that seems to be celebrated across the markets as what we are now looking at the figures here. So markets now opening in the green. And now we are looking at hoping that a deal very soon would be signed and the conflict for once and for all in the Middle East will be over. So let's in the meantime get connected with Ashesha. My colleague is joining us here on the broadcast. Ashesha, good morning, and a good morning after a very long time.
Well, yes, good morning after a very long time indeed. And we've got some positive cues from the geopolitical front, and that is exactly the reason we are seeing positive action on Dalal Street as well, with Nifty now trading above that 23,400 mark. We have seen a more than 1% uptick on the Nifty index. We have Sensex, which is up nearly 885 points in today's trading session. And the Nifty banking index is up a solid 750 points in today's trading session. US President Donald Trump has hinted that perhaps a deal could be signed anytime soon, although there is no confirmation from Iran, at least as of now. Things are moving perhaps in the right direction. Positive global cues is what is aiding the global market. This will also lead to a fall in crude oil prices because the Strait of Hormuz blockade, which has been a concern for global oil supply, could end anytime soon, and this will be a positive for global oil supplies. Other than that, as far as other Asian markets are concerned, they were too trading with gains early morning, and that is the reason Indian equity markets are also trading with gains this morning. Nifty up more than 1% in trade today.
Absolutely, because we don't know how long that's going to last, because as you said, there is no confirmation coming in from the Iranian side, but the sentiment, of course, the cheer that is now been visible in the Indian markets, the currency gain as well. I mean, Ashesha, we have seen the kind of pressure that was building also on the Indian currency, some gains that are also being witnessed there.
Well, yes. So the Indian rupee, remember, has been the worst performing currency on a year-to-date basis, emerging market currency on a year-to-date basis. So on the back of this development, perhaps we could see some recovery for the Indian rupee. Of course, there have been several measures which the Reserve Bank of India has taken. We've got a lot of commentary from Reserve Bank of India, Sanjay Malhotra. But for now, yes, if things move in the right direction, we will see some positive developments, not only for the Indian rupee, but for the crude oil and for crude oil supply in the global market, and this in turn will be a positive for global economy and global equity markets.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Brent crude prices for the first time in weeks that we are looking at is below the $90 per barrel mark till about yesterday. We were talking about the prices that seems to be hovering around $100 per barrel mark, and it looked almost certain that it's going to cross that figure. However, this seems to be the good news in the sentiment that the cheer is now being witnessed as the markets this morning have opened in the green. Ashesha, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast.